welcome to Beat 'em Up Wrestling. This is June 22nd, our AEW Dynamite review.
So today it started off with Cody sending out a text a few minutes before Dynamite, letting us know that TNT Open Challenge was going to happen right at the beginning. A lot of rumors were going around. That would be Matt Cardona, that would be Warhorse, just then somebody else did mention that was already in AEW.
I'm not sure. All I know is that they said it was going to be an independent star, so it was kind of open for a lot of indie people. So
no other than Eddie Kingston comes out. He's basically cuts an amazing promo in about under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the best ones I've actually heard somebody tell to Cody in that amount of time, and didn't stumble, didn't anything. He's delivered it.
Yeah.
And it became a
no disqualification match.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a hard hitting match. For people that have been following Eddie Kingston, he's done work with NWA. He also tried out for a little bit with WWE. He's been in the independent scene for a while, and so he came out giving Cody one of his better matches.
They said they were gonna hit independent wrestlers and come out a big one. It's starting momentum. It's getting interesting now.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is legitimately independent, but like you said, we've seen NWA wrestlers come into AEW already, so it's kind of interesting to see where they're going with this. Nick Aldis.
Yeah, I think it's reaching to Nick Aldis at All Out.
So they Tony Khan did mention it's gonna be Road 2 All Out starting up, so that's gonna be another interesting thing. But yeah, it was grueling match. Tax come out. Cody takes a full back of Tax.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, hey, do you want to show some color? Hold my beer. And Cody's like, I'll show you color. So he goes nuts. It was a great match.
Yeah, Kingston sold that his knee was tweaked. And Cody used that as a target throughout the match.
But then he used it against Cody because he pretended his knee was tweaked. He was about to hit him, but then gives him the uppercut between the legs.
Yeah, it was a good match. Cody defends again his title. This is his 9th successful defense. So I think he's getting close to somebody else taking it. I think the thing with the title, like the TNT belt, with a lot of open challenges, is the more defenses you have, the shorter your reigns are, and it doesn't really hurt you, because at the end they should count the defenses that you have with your title and not the actual amount of days.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe Nick Aldis does take the belt from him in All Out.
It would be a good build up. And it's still nice to see some independent talent come out and be the ones to go against Cody, because it just showcases something different.
Yeah.
We'll get into showcases a little bit later. Next we get into MJF versus we all knew he was going to be in action. Ends up being against
the Jungle Man, Griff Garrison.
I was going to say Jungle Boy's doppelganger, but Griff Garrison. Who the F is Griff Garrison?
So if you guys haven't watched BTE, they do a big amount of Griff Garrison jokes there, comparing him to how he looks kind of like Jungle Boy, and people confuse him for Jungle Boy.
It's kind of like his bigger brother, because he's bigger, he's taller. But I feel bad, man. Employee contact list, man. People need to know who's hired at AEW.
Maybe start wearing some tags saying, "Hi, my name is."
My name is Griff Garrison.
But this was just a match to show MJF being a complete heel. He keeps saying that he's never pinned or submitted in a singles match. Griff Garrison's like, I saw you lose on the tag team match, so you're not undefeated. And MJF starts beating the crap out of him, forces him to say he's undefeated, and then Griff Garrison almost steals the win from MJF, which causes MJF to get even more angry, and then just beats him.
Yeah. It was, actually, we have he got surprised. Doesn't he come out? Who comes out during this match? That somebody came out during this match. It was an interfere.
I don't think anybody interfered. No.
Okay, sorry.
No.
What I was gonna say was Griff Garrison. Actually, he had decent back and forth. Yeah, so they let him show up a little bit. It was like seeing him on Dynamite. He was on Dark a lot. And since his rising character, like you said on BT, it's funny. He's not a bad guy to look at. He definitely has some talent. He's got to do something, because he can't look like the second Jungle Boy.
Yeah,
it's a running joke now, but So then we get into Taz comes out with Brian Cage, and
the FTW champion.
He basically goes and explains his actions against Mox and why he decided to do this and blah blah blah. And it builds up to Darby. Darby comes out. He wants to address Brian Cage. He has a really cool skateboard with some good art on there. Yeah. And from behind him, which actually scared me, was Ricky Starks comes behind him, attacks Darby, and he slams him pretty hard against the ropes. And I was just like, I got a little nervous. But I guess they joined forces.
Yeah, I think Taz is building his own faction now with Cage and Starks. Well, I mean, that's how it is in Japan, and AEW is a offspring of New Japan, and a lot of their storytelling is based off of New Japan Pro Wrestling from the influences that they've had. So yeah, you need teams, you need friends in order to survive. This warfield, this battleground, I should say. Yeah. But it's nice seeing Starks and Cage together. I think they could do some awesome stuff with them two together, and Taz as their
their mouthpiece. If you haven't seen Ricky's stuff, he's been on Dark the last 2 weeks. Amazing matches. Definitely something to look out to. Yeah.
Awesome matches in NWA Power. If you guys want to go back and see some of that stuff. He's good at promos too, so
I want to say in between this was their announcement. I want to say it was before the Bucks. They announced the women's tag tournament for a cup.
Yep.
So but it's 18 women,
16 teams. 16 women, 8 teams.
8 teams. Sorry, 16 women, 8 teams. But yeah, the promo vignette was great. It was phenomenal. It showed Diamante, Penelope Ford, like it gives you that sense of holy crap, this is about to happen. Kind of gives you that woman's evolution feel. It felt really hyped up, felt good. They
have to do a lot more with the women's division. We'll get more into that in a little bit.
But that definitely was a step in the right direction. Everybody wanted it. AEW heels was something we told them we wanted to have more women. We're showcasing, and like Brandy said, they listened, we were heard, and they got what they wanted. So that's definitely going to be
more. It's a good first step. I don't think it's the end of what people wanted. I think this is a good first step.
It's not the end of it, but it's showing, hey, we're listening, and we're still a new company, but this is something we're going to do to showcase a large group of women.
Yeah.
And it's, as you could tell, it's more women that is on currently the AEW roster. So we're going to be seeing people that are not in the AEW roster too. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think that, again, New Japan also has tournaments for cups, and I think this is like the very first cup that they're doing, and I hope that they do this a lot more. I think that it'll be great to just do some tournaments, and instead of always being about belts, you have something else to fight for, give other people a chance to shine, and I think that's what we love from New Japan, and the fact that AEW is bringing that over here is a good sign.
And it's great that they decided to test it out with the women, because it's something that they needed to. If you would have done it with the men, you don't need to do it with the men. No. They've already been showcased. So it was a smart move, well played. And looking forward to it.
You already have like a bunch, 3 different belts for the men: the tag team, TNT, and world champion.
So hopefully there'll be a payoff, maybe a little bit after this tournament of a belt, for a tag team belt. We'll see how many women they pick up through this tournament.
Yeah.
So then we get into the Young Bucks versus the Butcher and the Blade. Falls Count Anywhere. It starts off a letter to them. The Butcher and the Blade actually butchering meat.
Yeah, that was a little weird for me.
I thought it was kind of funny though. Like
it was corny.
It was kind of like, but they've been doing this the whole time now. They either it come from like a butcher truck. They look like they're just coming out of work. Yeah. So it's like it kind of.
I get the butcher truck and all that stuff, but this one was just a little corny. It was like at a kitchen, but whatever. Yeah. They start fighting in the kitchen. The match was good. Butcher and Blade got some good hits there. There were some times where it was like corny with the trolley when they pushed for the clothesline.
Yeah, they went up the escalator.
The escalator was funny. But when he Butcher put Blade in the trolley and then pushed them to do a lariat on the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks just ducked and they hit the wall. But yeah, this was another high spots match.
Still not as cringy.
No.
as some other stuff. But yeah, definitely. The ending was amazing. Yeah. It was a frog splash and
it was an elbow drop.
Elbow drop. Sorry. Why? Nick does not do. I mean, Matt does not do frog splashes.
I mean, he could if he wanted to. But
yeah, he does. But he does elbow drops.
They dropped on top of the Butcher and the Blade. Falls counted anywhere, and so the Young Bucks win.
They picked up the pin together. But it was a really good match. Definitely highlighted once again. It sucks that the Butcher and Blade are taking losses, but they have gotten a win lately. Well, 2 wins actually, one on Dark and one with the Lucha Bros. Yeah. But this match didn't hurt them because they all looked good. Like everybody looked good in this match for me. Yeah, great match.
Yeah, this is one of the better highlights of the Butcher and the Blade. One of the better losses they've had, if you want
to. Yeah, I could say that definitely. And then we get into the only women's match we have for tonight, which is Diamante versus Ivelisse. Yeah, it's Puerto Rico versus Cuba. And the girls came out. Diamante looked good. They both looked like stars, heavy hitting. Even Dustin was like, I wouldn't want to piss off these women.
Yeah.
They were chopping each other's chests, smacking each other. It was like they weren't trying to lightly do it. They were hitting each other.
They were trying to showcase what they're capable of doing. The match for me was a little short. They were really awesome, but the way that they finished it was awesome too.
Yeah.
It was a surprise roll up, so it doesn't really hurt anybody.
And it looked believable. Like, she was really trying to get out of it. So it wasn't like, oh, surprise roll-up, it caught me off guard. Like, no, she was struggling to get out.
This match from start to finish was really good. They both know each other. They've been tag teams outside of AEW. They wrestled each other, too, before. The only problem I had with this was when they put the Big Swole promo during this match.
I want to hear both.
Yeah, it divides our attention, and I think it didn't help either.
No.
Big Swole was really good with promos. And then we have a lot of action going on in the ring. It was just give them time.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely
especially
agree with
since
that.
They could have cut a little bit of the time from the next match, which was 5 versus Hangman.
Yeah. It was just really quick. It was just a really great match. I really want to see AEW bring up more Hispanic women. We have Vicky, Nyla. She's Native American. We have the Asian demographic, but we really don't have a strong Hispanic female demographic, and I'm hoping with Vicky being there we get a little more of that, because we are getting a nice little even playing field with the men too.
We don't have too many single Hispanics other than Sammy.
No, Sammy Serpentico, he was singles before he went.
Yeah, but Serpentico's not signed with AEW.
He's not signed.
And he's just jobbing in dark.
So there's a lot of room for but I mean, even if they were tag teams, I still wouldn't be choosy. I just want to see them on the roster because representation's important.
Yeah, I think Diamante is going to get signed because she does have another match next week against Sheeta it's going to be a non-title match. I think they should have just made it a title match.
Yeah, they could have just made it. I mean, but
because it was an open challenge that Sheeta made.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I wonder if that somebody else will come out at the end of that match and try to challenge. But you mentioned Hangman goes against Fire from the Dark Order. This was a little bit long of a match, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, they could have cut some of this match down so they could have given full.
And I know like Five he's a decent member of the Dark Order. He's a pretty decent wrestler, and he's not bad. And the match wasn't horrible. It's just it was kind of lackluster. Like, I get the point. Like, he was gonna lose. Brody did what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to go in the ring and say, like, because he could have had the cowboy. So there's this whole storyline. It worked because Hangman says, we're in a cult. I'm not ready to be in a cult. And then Colt Cabana looked really confused, like, wait, we're in a cult? You know what I mean? So, like, that I like confused Colt Cabana. And it plays on their character and what they're doing. It's funny, but I wasn't sure how I feel about, like you said the other day, about Dark Order being funny. And so I have a problem with that. A lot of times the evil or the heels are funny. The Inner Circle's funny. Dark Order's funny. Only ones we don't have funny is the Lucha Bros, but I'm waiting for it to happen where they're funny.
Brian Cage and Starks are not coming up as...
Yet.
So
so...
I don't think Taz will allow that.
No, Taz looks like, he's a little bit too much.
For me, it's like, this match was just setting up for what was going to happen afterwards, so it could have been a quicker match, so you could have given more time to have Big Swole have her own moment instead of cutting into another match. Yeah,
don't fight for women's time, because they have to fight for it anyways, and it's just nice to see them individually. Definitely agree with that.
This match we already knew what was going on. The Dark Order is outside, so we're kind of like expecting them to interfere. Once he says it's a cult, then Brody says, you've lost your chance. This is your bed. Hope you enjoy your sleep. He takes Colt Cabana away, so Colt Cabana doesn't have to see that they're going to beat up Hangman.
Looks like a puppy.
Yeah, and then FTR comes out to save Hangman, and after they get rid of the Dark Order, Kenny comes out.
Oh, Kenneth.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to expand on it. Did something happen where Kenny was delayed in the back? Did FTR pull something so they could try pulling the Hangman away from
we'll
Hangman?
We'll find out next week when Hangman and Kenny go against the Dark Order.
And I know I saw people saying, the Dark Order just attack the tag teams. That's why they get... It's like, no, if you've actually been following the rankings, they are the number one ranked contender. They were number one ranked team before COVID. And then when COVID happened, they ended up being stuck in Canada. They've been picking up wins on AEW Dark and Dynamite. So they are 7-0, and they are the legitimate number one contender according to their rankings.
Yep. And there's AEW stickler for the rankings, so they hold by that.
Most of the time.
well, I mean, like
a good amount of the time.
Yeah, a good amount of time they put it up there, and then you could expect sooner or later a match between the number one spot and that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, besides the people that come in, like, and they expect a title shot, which happens. But yeah, match. It's Hangman. We got to see Kenny. So then we get into our main bout, which is Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus versus Inner Circle's Jericho and Hager. This match was actually pretty good. Once again, Jungle Boy, standout star. Luchasaurus gets busted up by his ear pretty bad. Hager didn't even look that bad either. Him and Luchasaurus, would be a great matchup if they allow it to happen. We're going bout for bout, which is great to see because they're both bigger guys. And Jericho sold a lot of Jungle Boy's moves again. You can really tell that Jericho really likes Jungle Boy because he makes him look very good in the ring. Yeah,
Luchasaurus looked great in this match too. I think this is one of the better Luchasaurus matches. I think he's finally getting back into his shape before the injury that he had, because he was doing some amazing matches before he got injured.
Yeah, there's like a flow.
And then after the injury, he kind of like was a little bit more slow and stiff, but it looks like he's getting back to where people, fell in love with him. So the whole match started because after the juice was dropped on Kenny, Marco Stunt was laughing at the fact that the Inner Circle was made look like fools. So Jericho decided that he wanted to teach them a lesson, and that's where this match came from. At the end, we have Santana and Ortiz come in and start interfering.
Trying to win over the match for the Inner Circle.
The Jurassic Express kind of are able to ward that off and continue to stay in the match. And then we get Serpentico hit Luchasaurus. And before that too, we had Aubrey and Jericho continue with their whole rivalry that they've had. Jericho does not respect Aubrey, and Aubrey
throw the bat outside.
Yeah, Aubrey is forcing the rule and order that Jericho does not want to follow.
Yep.
So then back to where we were at. Serpentico hits Luchasaurus. Everybody's like, wait, the Serpentico just joined the Inner Circle, and then you caught the fact that how he was
looked
walking.
like he was flooding inside that outfit, and he was acting too silly, and I'm like, he doesn't act like that.
That's Sammy Guevara. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right.
It's been a while. It's been a while since he comes out of.
It's been a month.
When he comes off punishment
with no payment for a month. So
our thoughts on that before we get any type of hate. He has apologized publicly, has apologized to the person, has apologized in video, has apologized in tweets. His money that he was supposed to get went to an advocating center in Jacksonville. He went to sensitivity training for somebody who did not physically hurt somebody, and I know what he said was wrong. He did what he needed to do.
So hopefully he learned his lesson, and we can move on from it.
Hopefully
he's a better person after this.
I was happy to see Sammy. Redemption stories. Everybody gets second chance. So if you believe that coming into this, then you have to believe that too.
So hopefully he doesn't mess it up.
It was good, but he did not look like Serpentico.
So then he reveals, he takes off his mask. It is Sammy Guevara.
And then the real best friends actually hug, because at one point the best friends do come out and help Jurassic Express. The Inner Circle flees, because that's what they do. That's what heels do. They flee. Mind you, they showed really quick. Matt Hardy was in the stands, just staring. So I don't know exactly what the hell that meant, but they made note of that he was all the way up in the rafters, just sitting by himself staring. So they hug, and Jericho did his moment with his bestie. So the Spanish got us back, and that is the end of tonight's Dynamite.
Yeah. So it sets it up for next week. It's going to be the best friends and Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy versus the Inner Circle, reunited after a month.
Yep.
So yeah, that's gonna be next week.
Yeah, we will be back with our thoughts on this weekend's.
There's a lot of wrestling going
The
on.
wrestling, GCW. We have some New Japan Pro Wrestling. So we will be back very soon. If you did not check out our website, I did an article on Effie. I did a small interview with him. He will be on GCW's Homecoming. So we will see you guys then. Until then, take care. Bye.